Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Treasure Trove Tarot, also known here on YouTube as Mystic Moon. Welcome to my second channel and welcome to your personal reading. So why am I calling it that today? Well, I just figured that we would really dive deep into whoever is watching the video, whoever it's meant for today. And we're basically just going to use a spread out of a book that I am currently reading. It is called Blood and Bones. I believe the last name of the author is Freuler. And there was a section in there about a tarot spread just to go deeply into what's going on, why things are happening, what we can kind of look at and reflect at within ourselves. And because we are on the eve of the full moon in Scorpio lunar eclipse, I thought this would be a great time to dive into the self, just to kind of see, are there certain things that we need to pay attention to, things we need to consider and look at, anything that we might want to release on that full moon. So anyways, you guys, obviously you're just going to want to take what resonates for you and get rid of anything that doesn't. All the decks I'll be using here will be listed down below, as well as this beautiful Organite, which is called the Taurus Organite. And because we are in Taurus season, I thought it was perfect, created by Michelle from Wing and Bell. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. Like I said, it's not my spread, it's from the book, so I will be reading out of the book. So let's look at this. So the very first cards, because I'm using a lot here, are going to represent our current issues. So the current issues that maybe we're experiencing or the general tone of our lives right now. This is going to show us the situation from an outside perspective or as it appears on the surface. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So this deck I've actually not used yet. It is called the Wild Woman Oracle, and it was gifted to me by a lovely fan. Her name is Queen Osset. So thank you so much. I had a chance before I jumped into the reading here just to kind of look through it, and I'm super excited. So let's do it. What is the main issue, or just what's the current theme right now of our lives with what's going on? How do things appear on the surface? We have Witch of the Winter Woods, number 18, Healing. Look at that artwork, you guys. Isn't that so pretty? So it's kind of like a gold and black theme here. So I'm going to go ahead and read out of the book because I think it's important. It's got a lot of information there, and I don't want to skip out on any of the juicy messages. So number 18 here, it says healing. What needs healing within me right now, and how I can use the magic of herbs, flowers, and trees to restore my sense of well-being. So the message here, it says safely take advantage of the healing powers and benefits of the herbs, flowers, and trees that are available to you at this time. I really like this because obviously you can see here she is outdoors in nature. Now, not everybody has a woods around them. Not everybody feels comfortable going into the woods, but this is just about being outdoors in nature. And if you can't get outdoors, it's about working with outdoor things such as herbs and crystals and, just things like that. Maybe even plants that you bring inside, creating a, like a little potted plant garden in your home, etc. So, is this really telling us what we're experiencing right now? Not really, but what it's telling us is that we have things at our disposal, like right around us, that we can be utilizing in order to help us on our healing journey. But there is something within us that does need to heal. So I feel like these next cards are really going to represent that energy. It's going to represent things that need to be healed. So this deck right here, we're going to go into, it is called the Woodland Wardens. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and see what else we need to know about our current situation, our current message, main theme right now. Oh, how cute is this? It's the otter. It's the otter and the cattail. So this says peace, healing and peace. Very interesting. So otter can be coming through as a spirit animal. You guys might want to look that up right now and see what that actually represents. There could be a need to act more like the otter, right? In some kind of way, or maybe there is a negative or downside to the otter. So let's definitely look at both of the meanings, or take both of those meanings there. So there could be this kind of energy here, interesting. Cat got your tail, cat got, the cat tail. I don't know. There's something funny there for me. but I feel like there could be something that maybe we have not spoken our truth. So the cat's got your tongue. Cat got your tongue. I don't know why. Even though it says tail. We're chasing our tail endlessly. You've seen a cat do that, right? My cat Peaches actually does it all the time, and you're just like, whoa. So to me, it's like he's having fun with himself. I feel like there's a message there, actually two coming through immediately, but the cat chasing its tail, it's like we're having fun. Have you ever seen otters play? They look like they're having a freaking blast, right? So there's something about maybe tapping into our inner child, allowing ourselves to play, allowing ourselves to have fun or to do things that bring us joy and happiness that will be very healing and also bring a lot of peace. So maybe that's something that you guys are currently doing. Maybe that some of you need to do this. But this cat got your tongue, this could be our inner, like our truth. We're not speaking our truth. We're not being authentic in some way. We're holding things back. Now, that doesn't mean that we need to express everything that we're thinking and feeling to people, but it means that we need to live our lives more authentically. So if we don't want to do something, we're not saying, yes, I'll do it when we don't want to do it. We might say no, or maybe we might even cut ourselves away from people that don't know how to take no for an answer and that are really invasive, I guess, in our energy field. So we don't always have to speak things to put up a boundary. Sometimes it's just actions actually speaking louder than words, which is still a language. So I feel like there's something here that might need to be healed in that department, or maybe we need peace from people that are really pushy, really pushing us to do things we don't want to do. Maybe a situation where we're just continuously going around in circles and we're not really getting anywhere. Maybe we need to take a time out, or we need to release something. That could be that full moon in Scorpio, lunar eclipse that's coming up, that maybe we're going to be releasing an endless cycle, or maybe a cycle that just seems to be going nowhere. So let's now go into this deck right here, which is called, I don't want to burn my cards. The Priestess of the Light Oracle. Let's see what else we need to know here about what's going on in our lives currently. What's the current theme? We have Winds of Light. Becoming something new. I love this. So this right here is basically saying that there's something that needs to change. What are wings? Wings remind me of the air element, right? And that air element can be wind, as in we are moving in another direction. But air energy, of course, can be communication as well. It's our voice. But becoming something new. At any time in our lives, we can flip a switch basically and become anyone that we want to become. Change and healing, of course, does take time, but that just means that you can make a decision today which will start to change the course of your life. So I feel like there is a message in regards to that, about making some sort of swift change. This almost reminds me of like the Eight of Wands, and the wands are fire, of course, but it doesn't matter. It's still this imagery of moving forward, doing something new, becoming someone who you want to become, no longer being that old version of yourself. So maybe some of you guys have finally outgrown a situation, and it's a story that's going round and round, and it's not even fun anymore. Spirit is saying you've got some tools around you to where you can start creating this change, and you can start creating the healing. So this could be that maybe we're getting rid or purging things that don't serve. This could be in the form of photographs. This could be in the form of gifts that someone gave you. Maybe you're wanting to release these things, give them back to the earth, maybe donate these items or burn these items and, get rid of the ashes. It's just you're willing to part ways with energies that aren't really going anywhere. It seems to just be stagnating your energy field or cramping your style, and it's time for you to kind of break free from something. That's what I'm getting here with this. So all of these issues right now are coming up in this reading to kind of give us an opportunity to look at it and say, is this bringing me peace, or is it chaotic? Is it bringing me inner turmoil, or is it bringing me a sense of peace? We have to ask ourselves these questions, and we have to be willing to do something new. Because remember, if we're doing the same thing over and over again and we continuously get the same result, we're literally just going insane. And Spirit's saying, that's insane. We need to learn to have more fun. We need to learn to be more fluid, I guess, in life, and just, experience more peace and happiness. So there's some sort of healing that needs to take place is what we've got. Now, the winter energy to me is something that might be solid. Winter is a time where things don't really grow. Growth is occurring in spring and summer, but, the winter is cold. A lot of animals hibernate in the winter. People get snowed in the winter, things like that. So there's a lot of, retrieving and going within. I feel like some of you guys may have been frozen in time for a while, and it is time for you to come out and play. It is time for you to do something new here. Become a new version of yourself, because this old version needs to, and I don't mean this literally, but it needs to kind of die off. It needs to transform. So it might be a perfect time with this moon in Scorpio that Scorpio energy, meaning death and rebirth, which does bring change. It's a shift, eclipsing something out, bringing major shifts and change. So I feel like this is the perfect time. I really do. So let's go ahead and see what else we need to know. This particular deck is called what is this called? Tarot of the Hidden Realms, I think. The King of Swords. King of Swords is Aquarius energy. So first of all, the King of Swords is somebody who is very, very strong. They use their mind. They use the element of air. And I was kind of getting this with this wings energy, the element of air. We're using air here, but we're using it in a different way. We're speaking a different truth. We are speaking a different song or singing a different song. We are, bringing forth something different. We're saying something different, which does create change. And we're serious and we mean it. The King of Swords is not afraid to speak their truth. The King of Swords is not afraid to, in a way, kind of stand out against all the rest. Very much has a lot of integrity, very sovereign being. Somebody who might stand alone for the right reasons, kind of thing. So if some of you guys feel like you might lose some people or lose a particular person in your life, the King of Swords, it's not that he doesn't care or that he's heartless. It just means that he's looking at things from a totally different perspective than most. He's not emotional about it. He's very logical and rational with his thinking in situations. So that's what's happening here, is that some of you guys are being asked to step more into your logic rather than be emotional, because the emotions might be something that's been kind of causing you to go round and round in a situation. And right now doesn't call for that. Right now calls for you to be strong. So yeah, that's what we're getting with this message here. So let's see what else. Some of you could be dealing with someone also too. So I feel like there's a flip side here. You might be dealing with a King of Swords. And this is somebody who, if you're a person that wants to emotionally connect with someone and you want somebody to be able to reveal their feelings to you and go deep, the King of Swords sometimes can't do that. So you might be barking up the wrong tree. You might be trying to invest in a person that's not suited for you. So there could be that too. Or maybe you're wanting this person to speak their truth to you, but they just don't. So again, it's like you've got to go towards something new, like become something new. The only way that something is going to shift here and change is you, not the other person or not other people. That's the message. Five of Swords. Okay, so a lot of swords energy here. Five of Swords is definitely one of the more challenging cards in the sword suit. I mean, actually, there's quite a few. Three of Swords sucks, Five of Swords sucks, Seven of Swords sucks, and so does the 10. A lot of them suck, actually. But the Five of Swords, to me, is definitely a difficult card, because this usually indicates battles. Battles that we might not win. Battles that it might not even be worth it when you do win. It's kind of like fighting for something, but then when you get it, you're just kind of like, it wasn't worth the fight. It's still not what I want. So there is some sort of a losing battle here, and it's like kind of questioning what we're even fighting for. What are we fighting for at this point? Are we fighting to win? Are we fighting to be right? Are we fighting, it's very much of the ego. And I feel like there's something here that we need to let go of, or there's something that's causing a lot of chaos and drama in our lives, or just even hurt at this point. And we need to stop allowing ourselves to be abused or even abusing ourselves. And we need to step out of this fight. We need to kind of give up and let go, because it's just something that's not worth it, I'm seeing here in the end. So what needs to change is you, the person watching the video. You need to change your thoughts about this. You need to change your approach to this. And the approach seems to be honest with yourself, or maybe even to be honest with someone else, or maybe even less is more, and just move in another direction. That's what I'm seeing here. And now we have the King of Cups. So to me, this is very interesting, because we're going from the King to the King of Cups. I feel like some of you guys have invested in the wrong person. Well, I hate to say that word wrong. It's just that they're not right for you. Doesn't mean they're bad, doesn't mean they're awful. It just means that maybe you guys are not a match. They don't want the same things as you want. They want, they are who they are, and you are who you are. So if you're not matching with someone, the Five of Swords being right in the middle just means that we're just kind of, we're in a losing battle. This person will never be what we need them to be. This person isn't going to just change, They are who they are. So it's either they're a fit or they're not a fit. And it's not about needing another person to fulfill our happiness, but I feel like it is coming up for a reason. Some of you guys are very invested in someone who has a lot of hangups, who has a lot of issues. And instead of letting this fight go and working on yourself and working on your own healing, and realizing that not everybody that you connect with, not everybody that you cross paths with are meant to be in your lives forever. I mean, I've experienced this with friendships, not just lovers. I've had to let a lot of people go that I really was invested in, and it really hurt. But this even goes with friends. There's so much potential. There's so much love there, but it just simply will not work. There's just too much baggage on both sides. There's too much hurt. There's just too much crap, and you just can't make it work. So instead of going round and round, like how many rounds are you going to go with this person when you finally realize that, it's just not a match. And as much as it sucks, sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is just let go and move on, So the King of Cups means that if we can let go of this battle, and we can let go of it, because your energy field is tied to this person. It's not in the new yet. I feel like some of you guys want to bring in a King of Cups, or this could be just a more loving, happier life, a more peaceful life that doesn't actually have to be in the form of a person. But you want to bring in something new, something refreshing, something deeper, something that's actually more in alignment with who you are. Because I believe that the people that are watching this video are more in this Cups energy. You're a deep thinker, you're a deep feeler, you're empathetic, you're really invested in people, and you deserve to have that same kind of energy back. So as long as we're, sorry to say, dicking around over here, we're not going to be able to bring in that new energy. So it might be this time in full moon in Scorpio for us to release these old stories, to release these old things, and to become something new. That's it. Now, if it's not about another person, this could literally be you going from the King of Swords and then integrating the King of Cups. So it's not about, you can't be the King of Swords at all. And it's not about being completely the King of Cups. It's about really integrating both of these energies into yourself. You can be this very emotional, deep feeling thinker, artist type, creative individual, psychic individual. But this is also about balancing a little bit of that with some logic and some rationale. Not every single intuitive hit that we get, not every single dream that we have or idea that we have or psychic message or vision that comes to us means exactly what we think it means. Sometimes it does take us to use our logic, to use our logic and kind of balance out what that message is. So it's like being all light or all dark. That doesn't work either. If you're a light worker and, nothing exists but positive vibes and, everybody is good, when that reality comes crashing down, because not everybody is good, not everybody has good intentions, and bad shit happens in life, and you are going to feel negative things. So the more that we pretend those things or don't, I won't give that any power, the more that you're going to suffer. And the same goes for the darkness. If you think everything sucks and the world is doom and gloom and you can't trust anybody and you're only working in shadow all the time, you will get engulfed in that energy as well. So both things do serve a purpose, but it's about being balanced in both. And this is a message that constantly comes up in my readings, and I know why. Because I am in the spiritual community, and I feel it's my duty, being in the spiritual new age, and I'm using air quotes, community, to let people know that not everything is love and light. And it's a beautiful concept, and it does serve a beautiful purpose, and saying positive affirmations and working with angels and that sort of thing, it's a wonderful thing. But when we get completely, outweighed here, and we don't pay attention to shadow, and we don't do our work, and we don't focus sometimes on the things that we do need to focus on, and we don't feel what we're actually really feeling, and we shame ourselves instead, and we're scared of it, you will get completely lopsided and off balance. And then when the shit hits the fan, and I've seen this in the spiritual community, a lot of people will run to Christianity and they will completely, just denounce everything and say all of this is evil. I've seen it dozens of times now. And that to me is, and I'm not trying to say hey, that's something that works for them. That's beautiful. I really do. I wish them all the best. But of course, those people, I'm not really sure what kind of energy they're in, because all they're doing is now condemning everyone else. So that doesn't really make sense to me either. So it's like when you're balanced in both, your world isn't rocked or shaken just because somebody doesn't agree with you or believe in what you believe in. If you're pretty balanced, you're not running around amok, So anyways, I don't know why I got on that little thing, but this to me is just you, the individual. You're learning the difference between both. You're honoring both. You're considering both, and you're becoming more grounded as you move forward on your journey. You're also realizing that not everybody on your journey is going to be a match, whether they are a friend, a colleague, maybe even a family member or a lover. Not everybody that you encounter do you have to hang on to for the rest of your life. Some things are seasonal. Sure, there are some things that are forever, but if you are continuously suffering still after years and years of your life, Spirit is saying it is time for you to consider becoming something new. It's time for you to consider jumping into a new version of you. And this full moon in Scorpio lunar eclipse might be the perfect time for you to embrace this change. So if this opening message resonates with you, you're in the right spot. And if it doesn't, you guys, that's okay. That just means I'm not tapped into your energy today. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. The second thing is going to it represents our role in the situation and what part we're playing. So to me, it's kind of like really the first portion of this reading was about everything that's going on around us, all the things that are affecting us. But this is the role that you guys are playing, okay? This is the role that you guys are playing. So this is called Practical Magic. The Practical Magic Oracle. Very cool deck. What role are we playing right now? We have Rewild Your Life, Wolf Princess. Ooh. So we had the image, of course, and let me just double check for other images here. I think that, there's a kitty cat. Well, of course, there's a kitty cat with their witch, right? Or the witch with their kitty cat. So we've got the cat, of course, which could be a spirit animal. We also do have crows and ravens here. And then we have the otter, and then the cat again with the cat tail. So I feel like, the cat, crow / raven, or the otter are spirit animals. Now we have the wolf. So all of these animals that come through, you guys, are significant. We also have a master number 33, so that could be significant in numerology as well. But the Rewild Your Life, this is very much connected to this one, which was becoming something new. So there's a book called, I think it's something like She Who Runs with Wolves or Running with the Wolves or something like that. It's actually given to me a long time ago from a friend of mine. And at the time, I just didn't get it. And I was actually asked from a client actually to read that book, and I didn't. So for me, this is coming up for a reason. She Who Runs Wild with Wolves, I think. And that's a book I'm going to check out, because I'm all about reading right now. When I wake up every morning with my cats, I take them outside and I read for an hour while they just kind of run around in the backyard. It's like my new little thing. And it's awesome because I was not giving myself permission to just relax and take time for me. I was literally waking up every morning and just going straight to work. So it's just like, wait a second, what about me, right? So no one's going to take care of you but you. That's it. You got to make that decision. You got to rewrite your story. And I literally, guys, just started rewriting my story. And I just feel like it's helped tremendously. So rewild your life. So this right here is your part. You can rewild your life. That's an interesting word, rewild. I don't even think I've even heard that word before, but it's cute. I like it. You can do this. The wolf is about being wild and, howling at the moon. And so I'm literally getting this energy, you guys, or this vision that you're howling at the moon, this full moon in Scorpio. You're just like releasing something to the moon. You're just like, you're creating a new tune for yourself, a new vibration, a new frequency. Something amazing is happening here. It's so awesome. So let's go ahead and see what else. This is called the Witching Hour Oracle. Witching Hour Oracle. What part are you playing right now in your life, in your situation? Ooh, we have the blue moon. Look at this, you guys. 33. That's crazy. 33 is a special number. So if you guys are seeing a variety of threes or just threes, 33, 333, whatever, this is significant to you. I also think that threes, of course, it's a card of collaboration, but to me, it's like the Trinity. It's mind, body, spirit. It's just just everything. It's like a total integration of yourself. I love this. So this says prophecy though. So that prophecy energy, I feel like you guys are going to get some sort of vision. You're going to get some kind of prophecy, and it doesn't have to be on the full moon, but there could be something that it is that you guys are working with or releasing, or some sort of ritual that you do, maybe even journaling or something like that, that's going to come in the form of a prophecy. It could even be a dream. I'm going to share this real quick, and I'm sure if you guys have been following me for a while, you've heard me say it before, but the only reason that Mr. Moon and I came back together after all the years that we were apart, because we knew each other, and we went to the same grade school, we went to the same junior high, but we didn't meet until 9th grade. And then we were just friends. And then right after I graduated, we had a couple of months where we were together. I was not ready. He moved here to Arizona. He got married. He had children. 16 years later, he's going through a divorce. He has a dream about me. And he felt called and compelled from that dream to reach out to me. And he did. And that's the whole reason why we were together. I was in California at the time. And now I'm here. And we've been, we're going on 13 years. I think it's 13 years this October. Ooh. And this May actually coming up. Oh my gosh, this is just reminding me. Isn't this terrible? You're married for so long now. You're just like, oh my gosh, like I almost completely forgot about my anniversary. But it's literally coming up very soon. And we've been together, married since 2014. So that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, yeah. Wow, like 9 years. That's crazy. Or 8 or 9 years. God, I'm so horrible at math. Anyways, I don't know why I'm getting off track. My ADHD is like on fire today. So this to me is telling me here that you guys might have some sort of prophecy or vision. And that's why I brought that whole thing up, is because sometimes you do feel compelled to act on that. Sometimes you are being given information to act, you're being accessed, or you're accessing information that is literally going to be helping you to get on board with your destiny on things that are meant for you. So that's why I brought that whole thing up. And I think that's really, really cool. So this is who you are. You are a magical being. You are somebody who can rewrite the story of your life right now. You are the person that can, redo your life if you're not happy with it right now. You can be wild. You can break free. You are the wolf princess. I love this. All right, what else do we have? We have another Raven Crow coming through again. So this deck is called the Dark Light Oracle. Oh, I love this. We have autumn. Of course, that's my favorite season. But it says, is it that scary? Number 13, death. Oh my gosh. And of course, death and transformation, Scorpio energy. Here it is, you guys. Is it that scary? Let's really think about it. Is what you need to let go of, is it really that scary if you lost it? Because I'm getting here for some of you guys, whatever you're holding on to totally sucks. It's not making you happy, and it hasn't been making you happy in quite some time. So what is it that you're so afraid of? Are you afraid of being happy? Are you afraid of being without this pain? There is a great line from a movie called Swingers, okay? And it's with Vince Vaughn. It's like one of his first movies, I think, or around that time when he first came into Hollywood. And it's not him, but it's one of the other people in the film that are having this conversation. He's having a real difficult time letting go of his ex, right? And one of his friends is describing to him that, it's so strange. Like, you miss the pain because you lived with it for so long. It was a part of your story for so long. You almost want to kind of continue to hang on to the pain. Every time you notice yourself slipping away from that old pain or that feeling of suffering, you almost call it back because it's a part of who you are. It's a part of your identity. And Spirit is basically saying it no longer has to be a part of your identity. Is it really that scary if you actually let it go? It really isn't. But you might be fooling yourself. You might be thinking that it's that scary, but it's really just your own mind working against you at this point, you guys. So that's the role that you're playing. I feel like you might be making something out to be scarier than it really is. And you actually have this ability to break free from this energy. All right, so this deck is called Tarot de la Nuit. Four of Cups. Oh man. The Four of Cups is just like blah, right? It's like, it's somebody doesn't want something. They're just like, pass, I'm good. No, I'm not really that interested. So I feel like, you guys, there could be something in your life where someone is not invested. You're coming towards them and they just kind of keep giving you the runaround, or they just kind of keep telling you no. And this is a cycle that needs to end. You need to stop going after people, or even kind of figure out why we are attracted to people that don't want us. What is it about that that's so exciting, right? What does that say about us? So there's something that we're going to be letting go of, I feel, our need to chase after people or be attracted or excited by people that don't want us, that are rejecting us. But this could also be for you guys that there's just something that's just not that great. It really isn't. You're not even happy anymore. You're not satisfied. It could just be a relationship that you're settling for, or a job. You're just kind of like, I'm not really into it. So Spirit's saying that you can rewild your life. Is it that scary if you let this thing go that you're not even really happy or stoked on anymore? No, it really isn't when you think about it. It really isn't. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is crazy. Now this is the Death card coming through. Scorpio vibes, big time. We have the number 13 here, another number 13. Death, transformation, rebirth, Scorpio. Spirit is saying it's time for us to say goodbye to something. It is time for us to be done with it. You can take the memories with you, but don't let it ruin your future any longer. Don't let it keep you from living your life. You can honor something, but you can honor what the situation did for you or everything that you learned, but it's not a time for you to stop living your life any longer. It's time for you to close up this chapter and to be done with it. So I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be doing like a releasing ritual here with the full moon. Yeah, now we got the three of swords. Like I was telling you guys earlier, the Three of Swords was one of the sucky cards, and here it is. Three of Swords can be a third-party situation for some of you guys. If you're in a third-party situation and you have been getting the runaround in that third-party situation for a long time, we're talking, months, years, whatever the deal is, and shit's not changing. Don't be a fool any longer. It's not going to change. People that have been in third-party situations for years and years and years, it's like you're so stuck in it that you can't see it. But let's just say a friend of yours kind of looks at the situation and says, are you freaking nuts? Are you freaking crazy? What are you doing? So we're being asked here to really look at that situation from an outsider's perspective and say, what is it that you're doing? Because it's not going to lead anywhere. This person's probably never going to leave that person. There's always going to be just this scenario going on, and it's just not what you really want. And it might even be because sometimes this does happen, you guys. If you're tied up in a third-party situation and that person suddenly, you guys can be together, sometimes things get strange to where you don't even want it anymore. Because maybe it was all tied up in this like toxic dysfunction. Could even be that the person, the version of them that you're messing around with right now, they change when they no longer have everything. And that can also affect things as well. So sometimes it's just best to just let people get their life together and make decisions on their own and not have it be about you. And that way they can come to their own conclusions and then choose you at a later date if you're still around. But not everybody's going through for third party here. This could just be your heartache. Your heart has been broken, or you've been really, really betrayed, or you feel really, really sad. You can see that heart there, and it's just got a lot of rips and tears on it. So your heart has been literally ripped out of your chest. So this is time to put the pain aside. Not aside, but it's time to say goodbye to the pain. It's time it's like a time to be willing to say goodbye to whatever this heartbreaking situation is, because I just feel that you have been going round and round for a while with this, and it's like some of you might not still feel like you're ready to go, but be willing to let it go. That needs to be the shift here. That needs to be the shift at this time. We need to be at least willing to let it go. Maybe we don't feel like we're ready, but let's try to at least be willing to be ready to let it go. That sometimes is a shift that will surprise you. So that's what we have, you guys. So I feel like you're really working with Scorpio's energy tomorrow and releasing something. And remember the very first card, you don't have to have a bunch of fancy trinkets at all. As a matter of fact, you don't have to do anything. Just your intentions and your thoughts, that is powerful enough to let things go. You don't have to burn anything. You don't even have to light a freaking candle. You don't have to have herbs. You don't have to have stones. You don't even need to be outside. It's literally just you and the universe, you and your higher power, however you connect, you and spirit. That's all you need. That's all you need to have that conversation and to release something by speaking or even thinking. That's all you need. Okay? All right, so now we're going to go into the third card, or the third portion of this reading, which according to the book, this is the most important portion, because these cards are going to denote our fears, triggers, and ingrained behaviors that are stirred up by this particular issue. Okay? It'll sometimes show us parts of our personality that we haven't considered or have chosen not to acknowledge. Okay, so this right here is basically, I feel probably our biggest shadow or our biggest lesson here, so we can grow and we can go through those changes that are necessary. All right, so let's see what that is. Oh my gosh, it's Medusa. Oh, holy shit. Look at this. Medusa, sacred rage. It says, each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all women. Oh man, look at this. So I really like this, you guys, because, gosh, there's so many things that I can say here. I think that there are so many times, that we go through things as women. And I'm going to use this just for an example because this is the only thing that I can think of at the moment. It's like being in a third-party situation, right? And you're a woman who wants to be loved and you want to be treated with kindness and you want somebody to treat you with respect. But yet there is another woman in the situation that is not being treated with respect. She's not being honored. She's being lied to and betrayed. So to me, this is women honoring women. This is about definitely being in situations that not being in situations that you wouldn't want done onto you. And the saying here, like attracts like, or, karma, and also, what's the other word? I can't think of the phrase here, but just because you do good things doesn't mean that bad things won't happen to you. Just because your side of the street is clean doesn't mean you're not going to deal with people that, have shit on their side of the street. There are always going to be things. It's kind of like you get what you give. I don't believe that completely. I believe that there are some times in our lives where you are going to deal with things that don't seem fair, that don't seem right, and you are a really good person. So it's kind of like, I don't understand why that happened to me. I always believe that there's a wisdom behind things. It's like sometimes people get really, really sick, and it doesn't make sense. And maybe it will never make sense, but I always feel like there's wisdom in everything that happens to each individual, and it's up to the individual to figure that out, to figure that wisdom out and that lesson out. I don't feel like it's really up to us to say this is what it is, but everything that happens to us is sacred. We have sacred rage. That's the word on the very bottom there, sacred rage. So it is about also honoring the shadow. Remember in the very beginning of the reading, we are taught in the spiritual new age, I'd say, community, especially like light workers, love and light, angels, all that other stuff. It's beautiful. But the thing is, we're also told that like anything that's dark or shadowy is evil and negative, and you don't want to focus on it. There was something about honoring your feelings and honoring those things that come up in you, because you are human. And as a human being, you are going to feel angry when somebody betrays you. You are going to be angry when somebody hurts you deliberately. And you have a right to feel those things. Now, do we have a right to go around and be these vigilantes and avengers and things like that? We might have fantasies about that, but doing it and thinking are two different things. But you do have those thoughts, and so you have to be realistic with yourself. Why am I having this feeling? Why am I having this thought? What can I do with it? Well, sometimes people choose to act on it, which is not in anybody's best interest. But there are things and techniques and things and ways which we can channel these uncomfortable or even scary feelings. We can turn them into art. We can turn them into creation. We can give them back, as in, we're transmuting the energy. We're screaming at the moon. We're writing things down on paper. We're burning things like that. We are working with this energy in a different way. So it can be very healing, but it can also be scary to embrace it as well. But I feel like Medusa's coming up for a reason. Look at the mythology with Medusa. Of course, there's going to be dark stories about it, but there's also going to be, the wisdom as to why, Medusa became Medusa. And that could be a goddess right now that's speaking to some of you at this particular time. Maybe you have been shamed for being a very strong person or calling people out on their bullshit. And let me tell you something, that road of calling people out on their bullshit or basically doing things and stepping into your power and not letting people treat you like crap, it's a lonely road, because there's not a lot of people in the world, you guys, that actually want to take responsibility and accountability for their life. And so it's a road that's not often traveled. So when you're on that road, you are going to feel like your friend circle and your dating circle are going to be small, because you're not willing to put up with the BS. You're not willing to deal with the constant drama and the constant crap of people that don't know who they are, or that are not working on themselves or facing their shadows. So what you'll experience with those people are they're going to project a lot of their crap onto you. You're going to be the catalyst probably for their growth. And maybe you've experienced that with other people. They've been the catalyst for your growth, but you're more of an enlightened being to be able to say, okay, now I'm willing to take in those lessons. Now I'm willing to take that personal inventory. Now I'm willing to look at myself and make some necessary changes. It's a very rare thing that people get to this point. But if you're with me, then maybe you're on that road too. I'm going to tell you right now, my circle is very, very, very small. And there's a lot of people that don't like me and that hate me. And you know what, you guys, there was a while that I was not okay with that. And I carried around a lot of just burdens from all of that. My husband's entire family his pretty much his entire family, they hate my guts. And that's totally fine. And maybe I'll share some of the reasons why that is. And it's not to say, oh my God, I'm such a good person. Like, there's a reason that they should just totally love me. There are many things I have added to the situation that weren't the greatest either. There are ways in which I was operating that was not authentic and maybe even manipulative without me realizing it, but very codependent and toxic on my part. People pleasing, that sort of thing. But it's a tough life. It's a tough road. And, but the only thing that you can really do about it is reflect on yourself and try to figure out, why is this happening? What is the purpose behind all of this? And that is, like I said, a road less traveled. A lot of people travel in packs. It's herd mentality. It's the campaigning. Everyone jumps on one side. It's an easier life. It's an easier life to be in the crowd that all hates one person than really examine it and go, that's interesting. Why does everybody hate that person? Why does everyone hate that person? It's easier to just not deal with that and just focus on, not look at those things, not look at those difficult things and those difficult truths. It's easier and more pleasant to live in fantasy or to live in a reality that's kind of bullshit, where you don't really have to deal with anything authentic. So anyway, so let's now just jump into this next card to see what is it that is in us that needs to be shifted or embraced. Interesting. We have healing. And it's funny because this is how we started our reading. Different card, but the keyword's the same. Healing. This needs to be healed. This needs to be healed. And I feel like the reason that Spirit is using me as kind of like this example of the ways in which we can become full of rage is because we've had things happen to us that seem unfair, unjust, outright just criminal. And all you can do is go within and take your own personal inventory. You can lash out at others. Yes. You can blame other people. You can feel like I've done all of it, you guys. I really have. I have done all of it. I've actually done a lot of it in front of other people. And now I feel shameful because those people that I've done that in front of, may not really want to be around me because they see me as somebody who has too much anger or that's very draining or not positive. It's unfortunate, but it just is the way that it is. Some people are just not comfortable and I don't blame them. Oh, you're not comfortable with somebody freaking out? Wow, that's like super toxic. What do you mean you're not comfortable? You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where it's just like you do stupid things and you say stupid things, but you realize that you have to take accountability for those things. Not everybody is going to be okay. You're not going to be able to always apologize to someone and that person be totally fine with it. No, some people are still going to, they're not going to want to forgive you, or they're not going to want to see things, any other way except for their own way, which is fine. But you are responsible for your healing. That's the purpose. That's the point of this here. We have to be okay with ourselves. We have to get to a center of peace and healing within ourselves. We're not always going to get that justice in the universe. Karma, the scales of karma, they may not always look like they're in our favor, but sometimes a prayer that's not answered is the answer. We don't always get everything that we want or in the ways that we want it, and we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay that there are people walking around in the world that are shitty people, continuing to get away with things and continuing, as it looks on the outside, that they're just totally fine. We have to be okay with that. We have to figure out a way to take that rage that we feel over those injustices and turn it into something amazing for ourselves. That's the whole reason I started this channel. The whole fucking reason that I started this channel was because of all of that rage that I felt. But it was the healing side It was me integrating both the dark and the light within that situation that birthed Mystic Moon, that birthed all of the cards and all of the decks that I've created, and why I still do what I do today. It literally put me on my path and my purpose. And that wasn't even a straight and narrow path. I've had a lot of experiences and ups and downs throughout this time as well that almost took me completely off of this path. So, just because we get into that like we feel like we're on our destined path doesn't mean we're not going to experience, challenges and lessons along the way. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Let's see what else we need to understand and know here. Loss, lack, fear, victimization. Like I was trying to tell you guys, there were times where I just was literally, I would wake up and I would say, I just don't understand. It's not fair. How could this be happening to me? That victim mentality. And I remember when I was crying and I was like praying, and I even lost faith. Like there's just nothing. There's nothing. And that was a horrible, dark part of my life as well. But, it was like an abyss of darkness. And I have found my way back. I really have. I have found my way back. But sometimes if you do not reach those deep, dark, scary parts of yourself, you're not going to be able to understand or even recognize the light when it's beckoning you to, kind of come back at least into the middle. So I feel like what this is telling us here is that everything that we've lost, everything that we have felt because of those losses, all of the fears that have come up, all of the triggers, all of this shit has come up. Why? For the sense of healing. Whatever you have not healed. And some of you might be saying, oh my God, how much more healing do I have to do? It seems like it's endless. That is why we are here on planet Earth, for no other reason except for ascension. And during your ascension, you're not just going to feel loss and fear. How many of you can think of the times in your life that you fell in love or had your first kiss or felt like the most intense passion with someone or had the most fun in your life? So life is not completely full of darkness. It is also full of many amazing, wonderful things as well. It's just a part of the human experience. But we are here for healing and ascension purposes. That's what we are here to do. We're here to grow and evolve as souls. And we chose to come here to do it. So you guys have also chosen the partners and the people that you have come together with in this life for ascension purposes. So all of these contracts and experiences that you wanted to have, this is about a time for you to honor it. And that's why it says sacred rage. We're turning it into a sacred experience, not an experience where it's just total victimization. We feel like victims. We're blaming everybody. Life sucks. Life stinks. We want the most awful things to happen for other people. That's when we know we're on the complete and total dark side. When we're in the love and light side, which is amazing as well, but it won't last. When we're faking ourselves out and we're doing a spiritual bypass and we're saying, I forgive you, when you don't. I think that's ridiculous. I'm going to send this person love and light. I'm going to tell them I forgive them. I'm going to call them up and make amends when actually we haven't even done the work. That is all spiritual bypass. So we have to be realistic and honest with ourselves that maybe we don't forgive. Maybe we're not ready to forgive someone yet. Maybe we're still working through that rage. So it's not a contest. It's not something that if you're not there yet that you have to shame yourself for. Find ways in which you can channel this energy so you can perhaps get to a point where you're like, I don't even feel like my body's shaking when I think of this person. I don't even really care. That's when you know that you've worked through that energy. When you're just kind of like, you hear a song or you hear someone's name and it no longer triggers you. You're like, holy shit, it just doesn't trigger me anymore. It's amazing. That's how healing works, you guys. It happens when you're not paying attention anymore. It happens when it's just no big deal. So let's see what else. Oh, I love this, the Ace of Pentacles. Is that a hedgehog, if I'm getting my animals right? So that could be another spirit animal. We also have this deer here. So the deer. Yeah, so, and then snakes and a unicorn. Or no, that's a Pegasus. Snakes and Pegasus. But the Ace of Pentacles is beautiful. This means new seeds. So we can start fresh, you guys. We can start new. We can plant new seeds in earth here as we're here. We are here on planet Earth. We can experience a new life. We can experience new things. We absolutely can do it. We certainly can. It just, remember, you have to be willing to change. And there's an owl. Barely you can see that owl, but he is there. That's an owl. Lots of spirit animals coming through here. And with the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is beautiful. It's Sagittarius energy. I love Sagittarius. I'm a Sag. But I'm just saying, like, I love Sagittarius energy because it's about freedom. It's about expansion. It's about growth. It's about your belief systems. And it's also about a change in luck. So I just feel that what Spirit is trying to tell us is that we can change our luck at any time, but we can't keep putting our coins into the same frickin', slot machine when it's not paying off. It might be time to switch over to a different machine and see maybe that one will give us better luck. So if you guys are continuously making the deposits in the same old shit, the same old garden where the soil's bad or the luck is bad, it's time for us to shift in a new direction. The Knight of Wands is very much about travel, movement. It's also about passion. It's also about living our lives in a fuller capacity. It's about being more excited and getting our energy back. So if a lot of you have been feeling low energy, Spirit is basically saying here, you've got to make some sort of shift on your own before your energy can change. You can't just pray that energy and change will happen. You have to actually make some sort of a move here. You have to do something in the physical world in order to create this change. It's just the way it is. So if you hate your job, you're going to have to start putting in your applications at other places. If you can't stand the way that someone's making you feel, you're going to have to disassociate yourself or cut the cord between you and them. Or if you're working with them or you're seeing them every day, you're going to have to figure out another situation, another place to work. That's just the way it's going to have to be. It's like a tough love message coming here and saying there's no other way. There's no other way that your life can change. Staying in the same shit. You can't do it. And now we have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is a card of procrastination. It's also a card of our head being in the clouds. So it's a beautiful thought. It really is. It's a beautiful thought sometimes to think that we are going to be able to, you're having a difficult time with someone. It's toxic, right? Let's just say you work with someone. It's a toxic environment. It's a beautiful thought to think that somehow we're just going to be able to continue to be in that environment and that we're going to be able to thrive and we're going to be able to move on with our lives. That toxic energy is so heavy, it is affecting your life. It is affecting your energy every single day that you're attached to it. Remember, this is just an example. So it's wishful thinking on your part that it's going to fly. That you're going to be okay. You're not going to be okay. It's not working for you. It's actually working against you. You have to travel away from that. You've got to cut away from whatever this vampire is. You have to. The Seven of Cups is also about making excuses and procrastinating. This is also about having our hands in a bunch of different things or a bunch of different projects and not being disciplined enough to be able to make a decision. So if you're dealing with someone, sometimes the Knight of Wands can be a player. Sometimes the Knight of Wands has a bunch of different things going on. I don't really want commitment. They're dating you and everybody else. Or I'm not really into relationships, but yet somehow you just found out that they got married to someone. What the fuck? So if you're dealing with someone like this, what Spirit is saying is you've got to take yourself out of this fantasy thinking that this person is going to change or that they're eventually going to choose you one day. Remember the original message. People are who they are. You can't change them. People can change, but they have to want to change themselves. And it's probably not going to happen when you're dealing with them. It probably isn't. It's only going to happen probably when you separate yourself from them and they feel that loss and they feel motivated to change. People only change due to circumstances or due to consequences. That's why there needs to be boundaries. That's why there's a need for law. There's a need for consequences because people do not either respect or they don't feel like they need to do certain things if there are no boundaries, if there are no things that we have to work for. If you were just given money all the time, you may not value the dollar, but if you have to work for money, you do value what you earn. So the same thing goes for relationships. The same thing goes for the people in your life. If they don't have to work for you and you just give it all to them and they don't have to do shit, they're not going to value you. So it's fantasy thinking to think that someone is going to value you or want you or choose you if you're not choosing yourself. So there's some kind of a lesson here around dealing with a jackass person, or keeping your head in the clouds and really thinking in terms of the universe is going to take care of me. Yes and no. The universe takes care of people that takes care of themselves, which means that you've got to be willing to do the work and meet the universe halfway. Can't just sit back and do, these law of attraction affirmations and things like that and do a vision board and think that everything is going to show up on your doorstep. No, there are certain things that you're going to have to do in order to make those things happen. You have to connect yourself to those vibrations, and it's not going to be by staying indoors. It's not going to be staying in a dead shit-in situation, either a job that you hate or a relationship that you hate. Nothing is going to change for you until you make those active decisions to make those changes. That's how things are going to change. So Spirit's basically saying that we've got to take ownership. We've got to take responsibility for what's happening in our lives. We can stay in the clouds, sure, but not a lot of things are going to change. Let's start utilizing our logic. Remember, King of Swords, King of Cups. We can dream, but we also need to be realistic as well. So if shit doesn't make sense, Spirit's saying it's time for you to can that and maybe go in another direction. If somebody is showing you here who they are and they're just, they want to be free and they want to have their options open, but you want to be in a committed relationship, can this dickhead. It's just not going to work. You got to start putting your coins and investing in something else. And what I'm getting here you need to invest in is yourself. That's it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get our last messages. And the last messages are, this indicates how we're going to grow from these experiences, okay? This is what's possible here. This is what's possible when we invest in ourselves. This is what's possible when we make changes, when we're not afraid to let go of things that just suck. Is it really that scary, Spirit saying again? Is it really that scary? It's not. It really isn't. It's not scary at all. Oh my gosh, I love that this is coming up as a final card. Like I was saying here, it's not enough for you to just think it. It's not enough for you to just feel it, dream about it. You've got to get physical in the world. You got to physically do something. You got to either physically turn in that application. You got to physically make that move. You got to physically cut something out, throw something away. That is why that card is coming through. That is how you're going to protect yourself, because I'm getting for a lot of you, you might feel like your energy is okay, but it's not. There's something, and I'm not trying to say like there's something evil that's, on you, like a curse or something like that. But someone's energy or old energy that you're still participating in or with, that you haven't gotten rid of yet, it's still affecting you. It's weakening you. So Spirit's saying that you got to physically do something. Okay, now remember I was saying earlier, you guys don't need any ingredients. You don't need anything. You can just basically have a conversation straight with Spirit. And I do believe that, yes, that's true. But I feel like for this full moon, it doesn't have to be the full moon either. I'm just using this as an example because it's tomorrow. Physically writing something down. I also do have in my newsletter, I've got the full moon in Scorpio ritual, which is, it involves a string. And you cutting something. That's a physical activity of you physically cutting something away, letting something go. There needs to be something that happens physically where you need to let something go. I don't know what it is for everybody. It's going to be different for everybody. But that's what it's going to require for there to be a shift, you guys. And I feel like there will start to be a physical shift that you start seeing in your physical world when you do this. That's what I'm getting here. You got to go beyond the norm. You have to be willing to do something. And I know it feels scary, but Spirit's saying, too bad, you got to do it. I'm sorry. And that is what brings the new beginning. Oh my gosh. Yes. And we have a deer again, and we have the wolf moon. That's literally the wolf moon. And what is the wolf's energy connected to in this reading? It's connected to the wolf princess. You're going to rewild your life. You see? That's amazing. So this is the new energy that's coming. You are unafraid. You are going for it. You are moving. So either you're physically moving away from something or you are physically letting something go. And this is the purge that you need in order to clear your energy so you can move forward in your life in a beautiful way. We have solitude. Alone with myself. That song, All by Myself. And I can't sing, but yeah, that's Bridget Jones. Remember Bridget Jones' Diary, the very first one. Love those movies, by the way. But it's the first one, and she is drinking. I think she's like drinking like a thing of wine, and she's, just by herself, and she's like writing in her diary. And I think it's like New Year's Day or something like that. But to me, that's coming to me for a reason, because you're doing your own thing. This is you resetting the energy. You're resetting the situation. To me, it's almost like a new year for you. That's what it is. It's like a new year for you. And it's just the beginning of all the new things to come in your world. That's what we're seeing here. So a lot of change. And we also have another snake. So that snake is transformation, shedding of the old skin, right? Shedding of the old skin, rebirthing into new. Oh, I love it. The High Priestess. So the High Priestess, do you see that book? To me, that's a couple of things. The book of life, it's like destiny, your destiny, the Akashic records, anything. But the High Priestess is not outwardly speaking and telling everybody everything. She's keeping some things hidden. She has the mysteries within her. These are things that are going to be revealed. So not everything is going to just be completely apparent to you right away. Some of these things might come to you in the form of prophecy, dreams, intuitive hits, downloads. It might come in the form of signs outside of yourself, numbers, messages, words, names, animals. There are certain things that are going to be subtle, but Spirit is giving it to you, showing you the way, because your story, you guys, is not over. You might feel like some kind of aspect of your life is over, and maybe that's the case, but your whole life story, it ain't over. So if some of you guys feel like your life is ending because of a heartbreak, or you feel like you'll never love again, or whatever the situation might be, Spirit is saying, this is just the tip. Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more living to do. But you've got to find a way to clear this so you can start to put yourself out there in the physical world and start to embrace that otter's energy, which is more fun. And we have the Ace of Wands. And I like this, you guys, because we did just get the Ace of Pentacles. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles, and now we have the Ace of Wands. There's the key there. It's loving what you do. It's loving your life. It's loving where you're at in the physical world. Because a lot of times we don't like where we're at. So if you don't like where you're at, what you do is you start ruminating on the past to a time that you were happy, or you start thinking about the future of everything that could be, instead of just focusing on where you're at in that present moment and being okay with where you're at and realizing where you're at is serving a purpose. And sometimes that purpose is for you to go, I'm so freaking unhappy, I need to get the hell out of here. Sometimes that's what it is. So when we don't want to deal with things, what we do is we ruminate on the past, or we fantasize about the future. Let's focus in the physical world right now with where we're at. And if we don't like it, let's turn the page. Let's turn a new page. Let's write a new story, because your life ain't over. So the Ace of Wands means there's a new beginning at hand for you. It's up to you whether you're going to take it or not. Oh my gosh, you guys, now we have Ace of Cups. Can't believe it. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. The world is yours. The Ace of Cups is loving the self, loving you, filling your own cup, building a different relationship with you, romancing yourself. If you want to be romanced in this life, you need to learn how to romance yourself first. I was taking a bath the other day, and I was like, why am I not lighting candles? Why am I not even lighting a freaking candle? Why am I not setting the mood and the atmosphere? Why am I not doing that? I'll tell other people all day long, light candles, do this, do that, but why am I not doing any of these things for myself? The relationship that I have with myself is so important, and that's been lacking for a while. So, I mean, you guys are dealing with someone who suffers from these same things. So it's like, takes one to know one. I get it. But I am starting little by little to do things for myself, rebuilding that relationship, because it's so freaking important. I think I've looked to other people my whole life to fulfill me. But the one person that's not fulfilling me, or that hasn't for a long time, has been me. And the only person that's going to do it is me. So I better get cracking on it, or shit's just going to fall apart. So that's where I'm at. Physically, every day, waking up and dedicating at least an hour to just me. And it has been so helpful and so wonderful. and so rejuvenating. And, you know, it took effort on my part, but I did it. And now it's just a part of my routine and I love it. And I don't think I want to live without it ever. So anyways, you guys, so this particular reading here was just really about you. Yes, of course, the things that you guys have experienced with other people who have molded and shaped you into who you are today. But it's also about realizing that they are not your entire story. They are just a part of your story. You are your entire story. And if you're dealing with people or situations that you feel are holding you back, or you just feel like you don't know how to move forward and be happy, I'm not saying that this reading is going to be the end all be all and that you just got all the answers that you needed, but I feel like it's at least a start. If it resonated with you, it was meant to. And I feel like you have an opportunity at this time, whether it be during the full moon or just moving forward, to be able to start to take some, you know, a real hard look at yourself and your life and the way that you're living your life, and figure out what you can start to do, even if it's something small every day, to start the process of this change, to be willing to let something go that's not serving you, that's making you miserable. We have to be willing to at least start somewhere. And that's all I feel Spirit is asking us to do at this time. Just at least be willing to start the process. Don't think about all the things that you have to do, because if you do that, you'll overwhelm yourself and you'll say, forget it, I'm not going to do it. Just start with one little thing that you can do, and that is it, you showing the universe that you are willing to step into the direction of change, and that is enough to start this process. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and to let me know how you felt about the messages in the comment section. All of these things help my channel to grow. You know, I just really appreciate you guys being here. I thank you so much for the love. There are certain people that go in my comments all the time and just are constantly saying, you know, great job and this, that. I do see you guys. Thank you so much for doing that. But yes, I mean, it's a slow process to build on this channel. And all those little things do count most definitely. So anyways, all the links for everything will be down below. If you guys want to drop me either a donation or gift me a deck, all those things make my day, but only if you feel guided to do it. But those things definitely are a great energy exchange as well. So thanks you guys for being here. Take care, and happy full moon in Scorpio starting tomorrow. I will be putting a message up on my Mystic Moon channel for Divine Feminine. So if you guys want to join me over there tomorrow, I'll be there. Take care. Bye-bye.